Hey everyone, today I'm showing off some CK3 mods that I can't live without. I have a collection of 50 vanilla enhancing mods that don't change the gameplay experience of CK3 like a toll conversion mod would or anything like that, but they kind of just build on top of the foundation of base game CK3. And I grouped all my mods into 5 different categories. So the first category I have for you is optional mods. Basically mods that you probably will end up turning on and off depending on how you want to play CK3. The first optional mod I have for you is Advanced Cheat Menu by Mr. Tats. I don't often play CK3 with cheats on, but if I do, this is my favorite cheat menu mod. Lets you turn on debug mode from the mod itself instead of having to restart the game, and it lets you alter all sorts of other things about characters in a really clean and UI friendly way too. So I think it's the best CK3 cheat menu mod. Next up we have Observer Tools by my friend Agami, which adds a lot of features. If you're playing an observer game and just watching the map evolve, it collects a bunch of information for you, like the strongest rulers, strongest kingdoms, and it shows you people's armies on the menu. And I showed it off in my Conquer video if you want to see what it looks like. After that, we have More Game Rules, which adds some more rules to CK3, letting you do things like shatter the realms, all sorts of other stuff like that, make the whole world tribal for no reason. Lots of different things you can change in the game rules menu. A super small one called Fixed Decisions tab Performance. Apparently there is a performance bug at the moment with the Decisions tab, and just because Paradox will probably fix it on their own at some point. Go over to the Features section. Basically, these are mods that just add some more information or let you do some more things in CK3 that otherwise you wouldn't be able to do. First up, we have Better Ruler Designer, giving you more options and letting you see things with a bit more detail in the Ruler Designer menu. Afterwards, we have the Better Coat of Arms Designer, also by Agami. Very similar, it just extends the Coat of Arms Designer menu and gives you a grid, lets you move things around a bit more specifically. Next up, the Better Barbershop mod, which improves the barbershop menu and gives you a lot more features. Really useful for making CK3 thumbnails if you're making CK3 videos. Afterwards, we have the Better Struggle UI if you find yourself in the midst of a struggle. After that, we have the Balance of Power UI, also by Agami. It displays that information way more visually and way more usefully. Big Battle View, also by Agami. It basically just extends out that section at the bottom of the screen, like a clear visual overview of what exactly is going on during the battle. Dual Overlay, also by Agami. Agami is the GOAT, apparently, which displays how you're doing in duels and in chess games visually. That way you can know what the percentages are instead of having to parse out the text boxes. Hometowns, which is a very simple mod to let you know where certain characters were born. Multilingual education, letting you decide if you want the children in your court to be educated in certain languages, and how you'd like them to learn those languages. Like if you want to stress them out, or if you want them to just try it out and see. A road network in vanilla. It adds a bunch of roads to the map. It also adds a map view to let you see all of the cute little developed areas and where all of the roads go to. And Battleground Commanders, which is a pretty cool mod that actually displays the portraits of characters who happen to be leading their armies. I think it's cool because it actually gives a face to the armies marching around, and it's not just like a random, it's not just a number on a screen. It's actually tied to a person. And at this point you might be realizing if you want to download mods for CK3, you're gonna need a gaming PC. And there's no better place to do that than over at Apex Gaming PCs. So I'm partnering with to show off some awesome builds you can grab. And this time I want to show off the Apex Streamer Plus, a beast of a computer that's perfect for 1080p high performance gaming, and even some streaming and stuff if you want to get into it. Since you can pay all at once or with monthly installments, getting yourself a PC at Apex Gaming PCs is already a great deal, but now it's even better than ever before. By using my link in the description or pinned comment below, and by using code HeyCara at checkout, you can save an extra 5% off any computer site-wide, and that's on top of any other promotion they're running too. So don't wait before it's too late to finally get a great gaming PC you'll love, and at an even better price. Just use my link in the description or pinned comment below, and use code HeyCara at checkout to get 5% off any computer over at Apex Gaming PCs. And thank you to them for sponsoring this video. So now let's go over some of my cosmetic favorites, which are obviously, up to personal preference. First up, I have the Community Flavor Pack, which is a mod that adds more helmets, outfits, clothes, hair options, throne rooms, all sorts of other things just to increase the variety of flavor in CK3. It's one of the most popular mods for a reason. Next up, Ethnicities and Portraits Expanded, which is a mod that also adds more clothing, variety based on different cultures, and it also improves the textures of even some base game clothing items as well, and things like skin textures and other stuff like that too. Just makes your characters look a lot more pretty. I think it has a slight yellow bias just by looking at it. I don't know, that might just be me, and I like it a lot. Next up is just a compatibility patch for both of those mods. Not much to say. Afterwards is a mod called Realize 3.0, which is a mod that changes the eye textures to make them look a bit more dramatic and realistic. It adds some glint. Just makes your characters look a bit more dramatic. Next up is a mod called Better Camera Zoom, which lets you look way closer into the map of CK3, letting you peek at all those little buildings and terrains and rivers and see things in better detail than you ever would have before, which is especially good with the next mod, Medieval Arts, which is a mod that adds more realistic 3D models of certain cities, cathedrals, places of interest to the world map of CK3. So that way, just by looking at them a lot more closely, you can see tons of interesting stuff all across the map. It's actually how I made the thumbnail. I was doing it over Constantinople, which has this like really epic model associated with it too. Afterwards, I didn't know exactly where to put this mod, but more character names, I guess since you look at character names, just adds a big list of extra character names for different cultures in CK3. After that is a surprisingly useful mod called nameplates. So for each event, it displays a little nameplate, because sometimes it can be kind of hard to tell like which character is actually being talked about in the event without clicking their little box to see. So this kind of just makes it super obvious, which is the point. Next up is a mod which I'm kind of surprised hasn't been talked about much before. It actually doesn't even have any ratings. It's called Proper War Headgear Display. Basically, it just changes some of the rules about making characters wear helmets that don't cover their faces unless they're about to go into battle, in which case they put on full helmets. I mean, it makes sense because they wouldn't have the full helmet on 24/7. They would only put those on if they're going into battle. So it's kind of realistic too. Afterwards, we have some mods that change the UI of CK3. First up, we have CK2 style brighter attributes, which make those look just a little bit brighter and sort of make them look more vibrant. We also have CK2 style colorful lifestyle traits. And then we also have brighter text colors, which just makes the text stand out in the UI of CK3 a little bit more. I think the UI for CK3 is sort of just trying to stay out of the way, but these mods make it more vibrant, more visible, and just make things a bit more clear and a bit more exciting, which is personally how I tend to like it. Afterwards, I only have one mod that changes the map of CK3. It is the Simple Border mod, which is a good compromise between the thick, chunky borders of base game CK3 and just looking at the terrain and not having any borders at all. It's sort of my favorite way of going about it. After that is a cool mod called Unit Packs Expanded, which gives a lot of different cultures, different units on the map for their armies, depending on what those armies are. After that, we have the Decorous loading screen pack, which adds some more artwork to the loading screen of CK3. There's a few other mods like it, but this one's just my favorite. I think it has the prettiest artwork. Then finally, we have the color picker for clothes, which lets you pick specific colors if you want to for your clothes. And then we also have the same mod, but for ethnicities and portraits expanded clothes as well, letting you change the colors on those clothing items also. And those are all my cosmetic mods. Now I can go through two more sections, the first of which, quality of life mods. Basically just making certain parts of the game less tedious to navigate through, like making it easier without actually making it easier, if that makes sense. First up, I have the extended outliner. Basically, you can mark characters as important and see them in the outliner, and it makes it a lot more useful and tells you a lot more information when you do. So that way you can kind of keep track of them even better. Next up, clear notifications, another mod by Agami. Super simple, just lets you press F to clear all of the notifications on the side of the screen, which do tend to clutter your gameplay with lots of meaningless information. So you can just close it really quickly just by pressing F. Afterwards, a big list of automatic mods. This mod, auto conversion, does what it says. It lets you automatically convert provinces to your religion. After that, automatically promote culture, does the same thing but with culture. Auto increase control, which, you know, if you have low county control in certain counties, lets you automatically increase those. And finally, auto accept indulgences, because why would you ever say no to an indulgence if you're the head of a religion that has indulgences turned on? So why would you ever say no to free money? You don't. So just accept them all. After that, we have better AI education, which is honestly more of a rebalance, but it just makes the AI make better decisions around educating characters. Might matter for your vassals, I don't know. After that, we have mass demand conversion, so that way you're not like missing characters whenever you convert to a religion. Often it's your kids or in the people in your court, or, you know, they end up causing problems later on, especially if you reform a religion, because they can be the old form of a religion, and it makes things messy. So this way you can just do it all in one fell swoop. Knight Manager continued, which lets you manage your knights in all sorts of ways. I think the most useful thing it does is prevent your kids from becoming knights, especially if they have bad prowess, because otherwise if they're automatically knights, you know that they end up getting their heads ripped off by a Viking or something. So if you don't want to lose your genius kids to random Viking beheadings, you use this mod, and just don't allow your family members to become knights. Simple as. And finally, a really simple but really useful mod from Agami, faster transitions. So whenever you're at a tournament, they have those really long transition screens where you're just sitting there looking at the artwork forever while you're waiting to see what happened. And this mod cuts that down to like half of a second. So those are all the quality of life mods. And now finally, I have some mods to introduce that slightly modify and change the balance of CK3. First of all, we have Ambitious Conquest Wars, which I think just makes it a bit more realistic. If you have a character with the ambitious traits, they have a conquest CB for individual counties, so it's not going to make a huge difference. It just kind of lets ambitious characters be more ambitious. Next up is a mod called Historicity, which makes certain historical events, like forming the HRE, much more likely to happen. Not in ways that are inevitable, but just in ways that make certain events after 867 more likely to happen. It makes earlier starts way less chaotic, which you may like or you may not like. I don't know. After that, we have Pervasive Crown Authority, which is a super useful mod that actually makes it so that your crown authority and actually applies to all of your vassals, including sub-vassals of your vassals, which is obviously very, very useful. After that, we have the Travelers mod, which does this really cool thing of actually making characters that travel to your court or that you imprison actually have to go through the same travel thing that you do whenever you travel anywhere, which means that you can invite someone to your court and then they can get a travel event where they die, and then they die in the middle of traveling, or random things like that. It's more realistic and more fun. Afterwards, we have Better Mass Vassal Directive, basically just letting you give directives to all of your vassals all at once. Very, very useful. After that, one of my favorites, and surprisingly underrated, Wandering XP from Wandering. So that way you can actually get perks in the Wandering lifestyle focus without having to waste your time going down it, and instead just actually traveling around the world, especially if you play CK3 like I do. And just a couple more. Adventurers Don't Bankrupt the Realm. This is a mod preventing adventurers from like sucking up all of the money from your vassals, doing random contracts. And finally, Found University, which is a mod that lets you found universities anywhere instead of just in the few select locations you're allowed to currently in CK3. For this mod, it lets you build a university in any barony you hold as long as you have the scholar trait, are exalted among men, and the province has enough development. So that's my list of big vanilla enhancing mods for Crusader Kings 3. Let me know if there's any others that you would have added, and I'll make another video talking more about things like total conversion mods. Thank you for watching, take care, and much love.